Have you ever wondered why some people's English sounds so naturally powerful and emotionally rich, while others struggle to express deep feelings? The secret might surprise you. It's hidden in 3,000-year-old poetry that shaped the English language more than any other single source. Right now, you're about to discover two ancient psalms that contain vocabulary patterns so fundamental to English that native speakers use them unconsciously every single day. These aren't just religious texts, they're masterclasses in emotional expression that influenced everyone from Shakespeare to Martin Luther King Jr. In the next few minutes, you'll learn phrases that will make your English sound more natural, more powerful, and more emotionally authentic than you ever thought possible. But here's what most English learners never realize. The reason these expressions feel so right is that they've been woven into the fabric of English-speaking culture for centuries. Let's start with Psalm 30, where David opens with pure celebration. I will exalt you, Lord, for you rescued me. You refused to let my enemies triumph over me. Notice that powerful word exalt. It means to praise highly or lift up, and it's still used in formal English today. You might hear the critics exalted her performance or the victory exalted the entire team's spirits. But look at the phrase triumph over. This is incredibly common in modern English for describing victory. She triumphed over adversity. The team triumphed over their rivals, or he triumphed over his fears. The preposition over is crucial here because it suggests complete dominance or victory that puts you above your opponent. David continues with an expression that appears constantly in everyday English. O Lord my God, I cried to you for help, and you restored my health. The phrasal verb cry to means to call out desperately for assistance, and restore means to bring back to the original condition. These words appear everywhere in modern contexts. She cried to her friends for emotional support. The company restored the damaged building, or the therapy restored his confidence. But notice the beautiful progression David uses from crying out desperately to being completely restored. This pattern of moving from crisis to resolution is fundamental to English storytelling and communication. The next verse contains one of the most dramatic expressions in the English language. You brought me up from the grave, O Lord. You kept me from falling into the pit of death. The phrase brought up from suggests rescue from the lowest possible place, while falling into the pit creates a vivid image of descending into something terrible and inescapable. These metaphors appear constantly in English. The new job brought him up from poverty. The scandal made her fall into disgrace, or the therapy brought her up from depression. The power of these expressions is that they use physical imagery up and down, rising and falling to describe emotional and social changes that everyone can understand and feel. Then David gives us one of the most important lessons about English emotional vocabulary. Sing to the Lord, all you godly ones. Praise his holy name. For his anger lasts only a moment, but his favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may last through the night, but joy comes with the morning. This verse teaches us about time expressions and contrasts that are absolutely essential for advanced English. Notice the pattern, only a moment versus a lifetime, through the night versus with the morning. These contrasting time phrases appear everywhere in English literature and conversation. We say things like the pain lasted only a moment, but the memory lasted a lifetime. Or the struggle may continue through the winter, but success comes with the spring. This pattern of contrasting temporary difficulty with lasting benefit is one of the most powerful rhetorical structures in English. David then shows us something fascinating about English emotional expression. When I was prosperous, I said, nothing can stop me now. Your favor, O Lord, made me as secure as a mountain. Then you turned away from me, and I was shattered. Look at this incredible emotional journey compressed into just a few sentences. The phrase, nothing can stop me now, is still used exactly the same way in modern English to express complete confidence. As secure as a mountain gives us a simile that English speakers love comparing feelings to solid, unshakable natural objects. But then notice the dramatic contrast. I was shattered. This word shattered appears constantly in English to describe complete emotional destruction. She was shattered by the news, the defeat shattered his dreams, or the criticism shattered her confidence. The beauty of David's language is that he moves seamlessly from the highest confidence to the deepest despair, showing us that English emotional vocabulary often uses extreme contrasts to create impact. This isn't just ancient poetry, this is exactly how native English speakers talk about major life changes. We don't just say we were a little sad when something terrible happens. We say we were shattered, devastated, crushed, or destroyed. These strong words make our communication more emotionally honest and impactful. David continues with direct speech that teaches us about English prayer and pleading. I cried out to you, Lord. I begged the Lord for mercy, saying, what will you gain if I die, if I sink into the grave? Can my dust praise you? Can it tell of your faithfulness? The phrase begged for mercy is incredibly powerful and appears in legal contexts, personal relationships, and dramatic situations. The defendant begged for mercy. She begged for mercy from her angry parents. Or the losing team begged for mercy from their opponents. Notice how David uses rhetorical questions asked not for information but to make a point. What will you gain? And can my dust praise you? Are persuasive techniques that English speakers use constantly. What will you gain by quitting now? Or can a broken system fix itself? The transformation that follows gives us some of the most beautiful imagery in the English language. You have turned my mourning into joyful dancing. You have taken away my clothes of mourning and clothed me with joy, that I might sing praises to you and not be silent. The phrase turned into expresses complete transformation and appears everywhere in English. The caterpillar turned into a butterfly, the argument turned into a friendship, or the mistake turned into an opportunity. The metaphor of changing clothes, taking off mourning clothes, and putting on joy is incredibly powerful because everyone understands the experience of changing clothes to match different occasions or moods. Now Psalm 31 opens with a completely different emotional tone. O Lord, I have come to you for protection. Don't let me be disgraced. Save me, for you do what is right. The phrase come to someone for protection appears constantly in everyday English. She came to her parents for protection. The refugees came to the embassy for protection, or he came to the police for protection. The word disgraced means publicly shamed or humiliated, and it's still used exactly the same way today. The scandal disgraced the politician. Don't disgrace the family name, or she felt disgraced by her failure. David continues with metaphors that are absolutely fundamental to English. Turn your ear to listen to me. Rescue me quickly. Be my rock of protection, a fortress where I will be safe. The phrase turn your ear means to pay attention or listen carefully, and we still use similar expressions. Lend me your ear. I have your ear. Or turn a deaf ear, which we learned earlier. The metaphors of rock and fortress for describing reliable protection or strength appear everywhere in English. She's the rock of the family. His faith is his fortress, or their friendship was rock solid. One of the most profound statements in all of English literature comes next. I entrust my spirit into your hand. Rescue me, Lord, for you are a faithful God. The verb entrust means to give someone responsibility for something precious, and it appears in legal, business, and personal contexts. I entrust this project to you. Parents entrust their children to teachers, or she entrusted her secrets to her best friend. This verse teaches us that advanced English often uses formal, serious vocabulary to express the most important commitments and relationships. David then shows us vocabulary for describing emotional and physical suffering. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I am in distress. Tears blur my eyes. My body and soul are withering away. I am dying from grief. My years are shortened by sadness. The word distress is more formal than trouble or problems and suggests serious difficulty. Blur is a perfect example of how English uses physical descriptions for emotional states when we're crying. Our vision literally becomes unclear. But we also say things like the bad news blurred his judgment or exhaustion blurred her thinking. The phrase withering away compares human decline to plants dying, and dying from grief shows how English often uses exaggeration to express intense emotions. The social isolation David describes uses vocabulary that unfortunately remains very relevant. Today I am scorned by all my enemies and despised by my neighbors. My friends are afraid to come near me. When they see me on the street, they run the other way. I am ignored as if I were dead, as if I were a broken pot. The words scorned, despised, and ignored show different levels of social rejection. To scorn someone means to treat them with contempt. To despise means to hate and look down on them. And to ignore means to pretend they don't exist. The simile "as if I were a broken pot" is incredibly powerful because it suggests something that was once useful but is now completely worthless and discarded. But then David makes one of the most important declarations in the English language. "But I am trusting you, O Lord, saying, you are my God. My future is in your hands." The phrase "my future is in your hands" appears constantly in English when people acknowledge that someone else controls their destiny. My career is in your hands, the patient's life is in the doctor's hands, or the team's success is in the coach's hands. This metaphor of hands holding or controlling something precious is fundamental to how English speakers think about responsibility, trust, and dependence. David concludes with encouragement that has inspired English speakers for centuries. "Love the Lord, all you godly ones. For the Lord protects those who are loyal to him, but he harshly punishes the arrogant. So be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord." The contrast between protecting the loyal and punishing the arrogant teaches us about English moral vocabulary. The words loyal, arrogant, strong, and courageous are fundamental character descriptions that appear in everything from job interviews to movie reviews. The final command, "be strong and courageous," uses the pattern of pairing similar positive qualities, which English speakers love. Be kind and generous, stay calm and focused, or remain patient and persistent. What makes these psalms so incredibly valuable for English learners is that they demonstrate every major pattern of English emotional expression, from despair to hope, from isolation to community, from weakness to strength. They show us how to use metaphors, contrasts, direct speech, rhetorical questions, and vivid imagery to make our English communication powerful and memorable. These aren't just ancient texts, they're the foundation of how English speakers express their deepest thoughts and feelings. Are you ready to start using these time-tested patterns to make your own English more natural, more powerful, and more emotionally authentic than ever before?